All right, let's talk about this. No rush. Take your time. Relax. Life always give you those options. And 9 times out of 10, when you rush something, you miss out on something. Right? I know you guys been in this situation before when you're trying to rush. You want to get something out real quick and you looking back at everything and you're saying, man, I got to get this out. I believe that the Dallas Cowboys rushed into this coaching situation. Mike McCarthy may be the best thing since sliced bread, but it's going to take time, right? Nevertheless, I don't think that the Dallas Cowboys did their due diligence. They rushed into it. Kind of remind me the other day I was going to the store and I was trying to get there and this little car cut me off, this little Echo. Y'all remember those cars? It just cut me off. And he was rushing to get to their destination, bobbing and weaving, putting on brakes, getting off of brakes, trying to get there as quick as possible, smashing the gas, not going nowhere really. Because by the time they made it to the stoplight, I was right there with them. And they was doing all of that extra energy, going back and forth. And you guys may see somebody today, all of that energy, bobbing and weaving, hitting on brakes, trying to get to a destination. And we all get there at the same time. They did all of that rushing for nothing. And that's what life will do to you, right? Now, the Dallas Cowboys, we already know the situation with the coaching thing. And yes, we was in search of a new coach. We were. And they selected Mike McCarthy after the first visit. Didn't go and look up anyone else. Old folks says, do not dance with the first lady you see. Them old folks be right, don't they? Like I be saying, hey, a new broom can sweep the floor, but that old broom can get those corners. You guys get what I'm saying when I say that, right? Now, we do know that they interviewed Marvin Lewis, and that was more so to solidify the Rooney Rule, which is a bull, crazy rule, the Rooney Rule, crazy rule. And that's karma, too. You don't go and interview somebody and it's not genuine, right? But to solidify the Rooney Rule, they did it. And then they said, okay, Mike McCarthy, here you go. And Jay Glazer on the show that I produced yesterday, he was saying that, hey, he was on 105.3 The Fan, that, hey, he still believes in Mike McCarthy. It's just a bevy of injuries that occur. Now, my thing is, Cowboy Nation, we understand. Injuries are a part of the game. And yes, catastrophic injuries on the offensive side is granted. But there's none on the defensive side. But yes, this is a new system. Oh, like I said on my live, excuses will look for you and is always available. Excuses will always say, hey, I'm here. Use me. Use me for your shortcomings. Oh, my goodness. If you're looking for them, they will find you. And you can use them left and right. Washington team got every list of excuses we can use. Every list. Every list they can put out there and say, well, our head coach had cancer. We have injuries here. We lost our starting quarterback there. Run it back down. They can use all of those excuses exactly with the New York Giants. They can say, hey, we started off 1-7. We can just fold up. Let's tank for whoever, right? Tank for Lawrence. They could have said that when they was 1-7. You guys get what I'm saying? No rush into this situation. Play your best. Do your best. Try to put out the best thing possible. Don't rush this situation like the Cowboys did with Mike McCarthy. Take your time. Do your due diligence. Measure twice. Cut once. That's old folks saying. Good old carpenter work right there. Measure twice and cut once. The Cowboys looked at Mike McCarthy, and they didn't do no measuring. They said, look, let's just cut it right now. He's the coach. He's the future. Everything that's going with the Dallas Cowboys is right now is because they rushed it. They rushed and paid Jalen Smith. Shout out to him for being nominated to Walter Payton Man of the Year. Shout out to him for that. Those accolades off the field, fantastic, wonderful. I love it, actually. Oh, they rushed into paying Lyle Collins. He wasn't even looking for the money. I could moonwalk back and show you and tell you guys the time that they rushed and paid Tyrone Crawford. No rush into those situations. Those guys were never asking for the money. They wasn't looking for it and say, hey, hit me with all of this money. It's a crazy world that we live in. We can look at some of the issues and say, man, come on, Cowboys. What are you trying to do? Now, I want to know, do any of you all that's watching feel sad for Jerry? Do any of you guys feel like, oh, man, the NFL is picking on Jerry? They moved him up out of the primetime slot. And the worst feeling of it all is it was supposed to be the Dallas Cowboys versus the 49ers. You guys get what I'm saying? That's a marquee game. That's a game that at the beginning of the year, everybody, Mama, Uncle, Tupac, Biggie, Pookie, Ray Ray, Ashaniqua, they all were saying, hey, I can't wait to be at that game, right? It's gone. And for the cherry on the top of things, they put the Cleveland Browns there. They put the New York Giants there. And put an extra cherry on top of that. The coach that was the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys for at least 9.5 years or what have you. Just the offensive coordinator. Oh, my goodness. Who is having buyer's remorse now, or who's having second thoughts now? And I'm not saying that I am. I'm definitely not saying that I am. But, somebody in the chat, speak freely, right? It is one of those things where we can look back and say, man, don't rush. Take your time. Measure twice. Cut once. Do what's right by the people. Do your homework. You're holding $1 billion baby. And every time you feeding it, not the stuff that we know that you can go out there and feed it. And here's another thing. There's no salary cap as it relates to coaching. So when Jerry get on that stage and he says there's not an amount of money of a check that I will write out to win the Super Bowl, I wish one of the reporters says lies, falsehood, hypocrite, right? He's lying. There's no salary cap as it relates to hiring your coaching staff. You're not painted into a corner. Matter of fact, when you're talking about scouting, if a certain region have one scout, by the money and the wealth that you have, you should have 10 guys there. That's maybe overboard. Maybe 2 or 3. You should be doing whatever it takes and stop talking about it and being about it. There's a lot of people that say, I'll do this and I will do that. But the reality is, talk is cheap, but action is everything. And since 95, 96 season, Cowboys been talking. There's no other organization that can talk more than the Cowboys. Every year, Super Bowl favors, even in our slumps and our downs of the years. 2015, Super Bowl favors. Get punched in the mouth. Oh, man. We can only muster out 4 wins. 3 wins, 2 wins, 1 win. 2020, Super Bowl favors the best roster in the National Football League. Nobody come close. Oh, how dare you put somebody else there? Left tackle go down. Oh, injuries on the offensive line. But it's new to them. Newsflash to everybody else. But for those who've been watching the game, everybody knew that Tyron Smith would not play 16 weeks. And everybody, just like with Sean Lee, knows that his best days, his best games, were in the past, not in the future. That's the reality of it. Yes, Lyle Collins, injured and these sorts of things. No one saw that coming. But damn it, it happened before the season started. Those who failed to plan to fail. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have the opportunity and not be prepared. It is what it is, Cowboy Nation. So don't rush. Don't rush. A lot of people rushing for this draft, right? A lot of people is looking at the draft is going to save everything. But if I can present to you all, hear me out, beautiful marble chess piece. And say this chessboard is designed and cut from the greatest of the marbles out there that the universe can allow. Just because you have it doesn't mean that you know how to play it. Let that sink in. A lot of people think, oh man, in 2021, everything is going to erase. Oh, my finances is going to be cleared. Oh, I'm going to just magically get a 6-pack. I don't have to put in the grind. I don't have to put in the work. I don't have to put in the time. Life do not work that way. Now, I do know this. Those who got the coins, the paper, they can go out there and buy things and appear to look like they did things. Rolling up your sleeves, putting in that time is the best way. There's no shortcuts to life. I wish people can understand that. The situation with the Dallas Cowboys, you got too many hands in the pot. Let me repeat, you got too many hands in the pot. I know it's going to go over a lot of people's head, but you got too many hands in the pot. What you mean, Law? What are you saying? Well, Jerry Jones, owner, manager, general manager, controls the Sox and the Drox, John Stephen Jones, vice president of operations, player, personnel. That's why there's confusion. One end, someone saying that it's not the scheme. And the other end, someone saying it's not the players. Right hand don't know what the left hand is doing, but they got so many hats, and they're expecting the people that they put the money in their hand to have that same work action. The Will McClays and the Chris Halls of the world. They'll work that way. Front office issues, when they have terrible issues like it is, you see these things. And every year, or every other year, that's why you see the ups and downs. Because the right hand don't know what the left hand is doing. There's no proper plan of action. There's no decision that's being cut straight down the middle, saying that, hey, I'm going to bang on the table for this guy. But if he don't perform, I'll be the first one to exile, or my job is on the line. There's nobody with that fear from the top. In every other team, all of the 31 other teams, damn it, that general manager got to make sure he hired the best coach. That general manager got to make sure that his player scout personnel team is intact. See, the Joneses, the team that we love, don't have those constraints. Because if they mess up, they just mess up. But they would not admit it. The person with the bad breath normally does not smell it, basically. And the craziest thing of it all, his nose is right here. It takes other people to say, man, your breath is hot. Because the way you talking, I can smell it before it come out. But your nose is right here and you don't smell that. That's the craziest thing. So we'll see how this thing will unfold and shape out for 2021. But I just want to be able to give you guys my thoughts on that. Let me know in the comment box again if you're feeling sad for Jerry, Wayne Jones, and John Stephen Jones for missing out on their precious primetime game. And how you guys feel. We got 4 more games, the final evaluation of the coach and the final evaluations of everything. Now, I do know that, yes, we are in a pandemic and it affects people in different ways. But that's life. It is. That right here, or this year right here, is an example of life. Just because you graduated top of your class, valedictorian, salutatorian as well, doesn't mean that you're going to have the best job. People right now just watching this video barely scraped through high school, barely made it through college, making more money than the smartest kid in their school can count, right? But money does not equate value and success as well, right? Right? We're not going down that way. But what I'm saying is that, but that's life, collectively speaking. Don't want to get the words twisted, but collectively speaking, that this is life. It always will throw you a curveball and you get punched in the face. Just don't get laid out like Nate Robinson. You got to get back up, plan, and make the precise decisions on how you can react to the next blows that come your way. All right, that's enough of my time. And that's enough of me talking about these Jerry Jones team and the Dallas Cowboys. I really appreciate you all for tuning in. I thank you for your time. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. It's still let's go, right? I mean, a third of us were a fan of the Cowboys before the Joneses bought the team, right? Nevertheless, we playing against Cincinnati this weekend, and then the next week we got 3 more games after that, and it's common opponents. So we'll see what we'll do against the Eagles and the Giants and whoever else we have to face. But we'll see. We'll find out, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. I'm out. Peace.